In the mid-16th century, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth stood as one of the largest and most diverse states in Europe. Stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, it was a melting pot of various ethnic groups, cultures, and religions. Among the most prominent and economically influential of these were the Armenian merchants. Having fled wars and persecution in their homeland, Armenians began settling in cities such as Lviv, Kamianets, Podilsky, and Warsaw, bringing with them expertise in trade, commerce, and diplomacy. Their arrival, however, would soon give rise to tensions over the control of lucrative trade routes, particularly as they clashed with local Polish, Ruthenian, and Jewish merchants. The Armenians, renowned for their trading acumen, quickly integrated into the commercial life of the Commonwealth. Their knowledge of the trade networks extending from Persia, the Ottoman Empire, and the Black Sea region made them invaluable intermediaries in the bustling markets of Eastern Europe. They specialized in luxury goods such as silk, spices, furs, and precious metals, commodities highly sought after by the nobility of Poland-Lithuania. Armenian traders had a natural advantage, being familiar with languages and cultures that allowed them to easily navigate the complex international trade routes stretching from Europe to the Middle East. However, their success did not come without resistance. Native merchants, especially the Polish and Ruthenian guilds that traditionally controlled the local economy, viewed the Armenians as interlopers. These local traders had long held a near monopoly over domestic trade routes and were wary of foreign competition, especially one as well-connected and prosperous as the Armenians. The Jewish community, which also played a significant role in Polish-Lithuanian trade, similarly saw the Armenian merchants as a threat to their economic interests. Jews had long been granted special privileges by the Commonwealth's kings, and their rise in prominence in various cities placed them in direct competition with the Armenian merchants who were beginning to secure their own foothold in the same markets. As Armenian influence grew, disputes over market control and trade routes intensified. The Armenians had established a foothold along the lucrative Black Sea trade, with caravans bringing goods from Ottoman and Persian lands. Their access to these routes, combined with their competitive pricing, threatened the monopolies traditionally held by local guilds. Tensions began to boil over in cities such as Lviv, where Polish and Ruthenian merchants accused Armenians of unfair trade practices and monopolization of key resources. Complaints were made to local authorities, with guilds demanding that restrictions be placed on Armenian traders to protect their own interests. The Commonwealth's rulers, aware of the economic benefits the Armenians brought to the region, were hesitant to impose such restrictions. The Armenian merchants were highly regarded for their diplomatic skills, often serving as mediators between Poland-Lithuania and the Ottoman Empire, two rival powers. Their role as cultural and economic intermediaries made them indispensable in a geopolitical landscape rife with tension. Furthermore, the Armenian merchants were often granted charters and privileges by the monarchy, allowing them a degree of autonomy and protection. This royal patronage only deepened the resentment among local merchants, who felt increasingly marginalized by the Armenians' growing influence. As these tensions simmered, sporadic violence broke out between Armenian traders and local guild members. In several instances, Armenian caravans were attacked by disgruntled Polish or Ruthenian merchants who sought to undermine their rivals' success. These attacks, while localized, highlighted the growing rift between the native and immigrant merchant classes. In Lviv, where the Armenian community was particularly strong, armed confrontations between the Armenian quarter and local guild members became a recurring issue. The city's authorities, eager to maintain peace, were often forced to intervene, issuing fines or temporarily banning certain Armenian goods from the market to appease the local population. Despite these conflicts, the Armenian merchants persisted. They continued to build strong trade networks, not only within Poland-Lithuania, but also with foreign powers such as Venice, the Ottoman Empire, and Persia. Their resilience and adaptability allowed them to withstand the hostility of local competitors, though not without consequences. The growing resentment toward Armenian success led to the imposition of trade restrictions in some areas, limiting their access to certain markets or requiring them to pay higher taxes. These measures were often driven by the demands of the local guilds, who sought to protect their own economic interests in the face of foreign competition. By the late 17th century, while tensions between Armenian and local merchants persisted, the Armenians had firmly established themselves as a powerful economic force in the Commonwealth. Their ability to navigate political alliances, build extensive trade networks, and endure local hostility allowed them to continue thriving. The conflict over control of trade routes in Poland-Lithuania ultimately reflected a broader theme of the era: the clash between native economic interests and the success of immigrant communities, a dynamic that played out across Eastern Europe and beyond. The legacy of the Armenian merchants would endure, shaping the commercial landscape of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth for generations to come. However, the deep-seated tensions they faced also highlighted the precarious nature of immigrant success in a region where competition for wealth and resources was fierce, and where the balance of power between different ethnic and religious groups could shift with the tides of political change.